Welcome everybody. In the past we have talked about calculated fields, and that's where we had created something like maybe the field called profit, and we came about getting that by calculating the revenue minus the cost of goods. That's how we came up with profit, and that's how we got that column in there. What I want to do now is show you something called calculated item. And I think the best way to describe it will be as we come across having to use it, I'll explain it at that point. But what I like to do right now is just kind of focus on what you see on your screens here, which has a particular field in it called shipped. Now the shipped field is a calculation that I put in there that gave me this indicator. And what it does is it looks at the order date and it looks at the ship date, and if the order date equals the ship date, that means that we've shipped out on the same day. So same day shipping, it'll return a value called same. If I take the ship date minus the order date and that equals 1, meaning it's just a 1 day difference, then we're going to call that one next day or next shipping in that case. And if it's beyond that, if it's over 1 day, then we just call it over. Now the formula that I put in there to make that happen is this one right here. It's the if function. I have a number of examples of the if function in the module 5 video, so if you are interested, go ahead and take a look at those. But in the meantime, I'll just kind of explain to you how this one is set up. What we're basically saying is if A2, meaning the order date, is equal to C2, which is the ship date, then just put in the word same. Then we do the test again and we say if that's not the case, then if C2 minus A2, all right, are equal to 1, then put the word next, meaning like next day shipping. And if it's anything else, then it's just going to be over. And that's what we have there. So that's how that works. Now, the whole reason why we have this is because we want to do some analysis on how dollars or sales, just the amount of sales that we're having or generating, how is that relating to how many of them are, or how much is in same day shipping, next day shipping, or over, beyond that point. And we're going to do the analysis, based on these 3 different items in shipping, okay, based on a breakdown in other fields. All right, so we'll do different comparisons by territory, maybe by company, by product, by rep, different areas. And the whole goal is to improve our logistics as far as shipping goes, so that we can get more and more shipping out on the same day, and not and less being next day and beyond. Okay, that's the whole idea here. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and we'll click on to insert. We'll click on to PivotTable. We'll hit OK. Okay, and we're going to start out, first of all, we're going to bring in that the shipped field, which is going to give us those 3 items, just like that, all right? And we're going to look at this as compared to our zones or territories. We're going to take the zone, put that over in the columns area, and then we're going to take the total sale and put that in the values area. So there it goes. So that's pretty good in itself. So we can actually see revenue-wise how much revenue we're getting from same-day shipping, next-day shipping, and then beyond. Now, to make it a little bit easier to read the numbers, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of select all of the numbers, go back to my Home tab, hit the comma format, no decimal places, take care of it there. So it makes it a little bit easier to see, and I can see that I have, as far as same day shipping, a little over 9 million that went to Africa, but as far as next day shipping, a little bit less than that, and a huge amount going out, beyond the 1 day that we see here. And we can see that for all the other zones or territories as well. Now, what I like to do is get a sense of what percentage are the same day shipping numbers compared to all the others. In other words, what percentage is this to these two here? All right. So what is that? What's that percentage? Right? And that's where this calculated item comes into play. So in essence, what I want to be able to do is create a fourth item in this particular field. So this field, which is the shipped field, which is what we saw over here, that has 3 different items in it right now. We're going to create a fourth item in this field that's going to show us what percentage same day shipping is to all of our other shipping, okay, the next day and the over. All right. Okay, so the first thing we do is we just make sure we're in one of the items of that field, and I'm just going to click on the other over there. Now, next we're going to go back over into the Analyze. Then we're going to go to the Field and Items and go to the Calculated Item. Now, right now we're on the Shipped. There's the 3 items. We're going to create a fourth one, so we're going to call this one SD percentage. All right, and the formula that we're going to use to make this happen, to figure out what that percentage is we're going to basically take same, so just double click that, divided by, and then in parentheses, we're going to take the next plus the over. Close that off. Now, once we've done that, we just go ahead and hit OK. And it shows up as mostly zeros here, mainly because it's in whole numbers right now, and we really have just a decimal, and it's been rounded to no decimal places. So what we'll have to do is just kind of select this area like this, all right? And then just go back over into our Home tab, go to our percentage button, and take care of it there. So that's pretty good. So there it is. All right. On here, this is, as far as the percentage goes, it's showing it on the grand total as well here too. But that's really irrelevant at this point. So the point though is with this is that now we can look at this and see what percentage same day shipping is to the rest of the numbers there. So it's 20% pretty much across the board. Now I might go as far as maybe just add maybe a decimal place or two to it to get something like that. So not too bad. All right, so pretty good. Now, so that's one way of looking at our shipping numbers to get an idea of where maybe we can make some improvements. Now, we're going to look at some other fields to do in place of the zone that we have along the top there to get some other ideas maybe. So to save time, I'm not going to recreate a brand new pivot table. I'll just take what I already have here. I'll just select this, all right? And I will right-click, hit copy, go down below it here like this, right-click it, and paste it in there, and now I've got a duplicate. Now I can take this and modify this one. So on this one, I want to swap out the zone. So I'm going to take the zone out and instead go with the country. All right, so we'll go find our country here and drag that into the columns. All right, and we'll get that. So now we can actually look at our countries, country over country here, and see what the percentages are there. See which countries are highest, which ones are lowest, kind of go from there. Kind of get that kind of thing. So we can see all the countries that we're working with there. All right. So maybe looking at your shipping data in regards to country, might give you a better idea. You know, that's going to be for the person that's looking at this and trying to make those decisions and get those ideas, start conversations, and somehow maybe work the logistics in the warehouse to make sure that we can improve maybe in some of those other countries. Now, another area we could maybe look at would be maybe the companies that we ship to. See if there's any correlation there as to certain companies for some reason getting the best in same-day shipping as opposed to others. So what we can do is, I'll just, since I've still got this copied, I'll just go down to here, right-click it, hit paste, all right? And then what we'll do is, on this one, we'll take out the zone, all right? And we'll go ahead and bring in the actual company and put that there. Now this might be a little bit harder to read, so maybe what I'll do is I'll take the company, put that in the rows area, and take the shipped and put that into the columns area. And I can see something like that. And then I can even go even further with it and do a right click on the same day, percentage that we have there, and sort it from largest to smallest, and that way it'll rearrange it and show me what my top companies are that are getting more same day shipping over other companies, further down the list. So maybe it's something to do with how we process the order, who knows. Another one we can do is we'll take, let's take this one here, copy it, and below there, paste that in, and maybe instead of going with the company, how about the product? So what we'll do is we'll take the, in this case, we'll take the country out, and then we'll go ahead and we'll find our actual company. Oh, no, it's company. I'm sorry, not company. Country. So we'll go ahead and find country here and drag that into the columns, and we'll get that. And again, it might be better to have it flipped around here. So we'll just flip those two fields around there, and we'll get a sense here. So we can actually then maybe click on the same day percentage here. Right click it, go to sort, largest to smallest, and we can see that Norway and the rest of them, how they're comparing. But again, this is something that shipping would look at, the warehouse, and say, well, maybe there's some sort of correlation here. There's a reason why these are so low, or some of them are low and lower than others. So good little comparison there. All right, now one last one here has to do with breaking this data down by date, okay, specifically by year. Now, let me first of all go back to our data, and you'll notice what I've done is I've added a field in here, a new column here called order date year, all right? And it's really just a formula that takes the order date into account and returns back the 4-digit year. That's all we have here. Now, why do I even have that? I've got the year pretty much built into here. Why do I need this? Well, you'll see. So we're actually going to create another pivot table, and this time it's going to show those same items on the side, same day, next day, and so forth. And then along the top, we'll have the years. So we'll have the 5 or so years that we've got as far as sales in here. And you're going to see where the problem will arise. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit my insert, go to pivot, hit OK, bring in my shipped into the rows, and then I'll bring in my the total sale here. Do that one there. So now, just what we're looking at right now, 19% of our overall sales, 19% is same day shipping. I think that's bad, you know, so just keep that in mind. I mean, that's not really good. Anyway, so what I'm going to do next is then go ahead and bring the order date in and put that along the top, just like that. And what we get is this little error, and it says that the report field is grouped, and you can't add another calculated item to the grouped field. So it's basically letting us know that because we're doing the calculated item, if we then bring in dates and want to get those dates eventually grouped by year, okay, it's not going to let us do that. All right, and this is the big problem with calculated items, is when it comes to you know, bringing in dates and having them, you know, grouped by year or quarter or whatever happens to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that, and I'm going to get rid. So the ship dates that you see along the top there, those are just erroneous right now. So this is why I created within the pivot, all right, or within the date itself here, this year, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one instead of using that. So it's not going to have to do any grouping of this because I've already got it grouped, you know, manually in essence, right? So what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to go and find the OD year, this one right here, drag that into the columns area, all right? Now, we end up getting this happening, so what I'm going to do now is just take the order date out of here, and now, there we go. So now we've got our years along the top there. We have our breakdown in the shipped over here, and we can see that. But see, we would not have been able to do this by relying on the order date. So if you're ever doing this on your own and you're going to be doing something about the years, you need to add in this field, whatever you want to call it, so that you can then use it in place of just doing the order date and having it having the program group it, because it's not going to allow you to do that. And then once I've done this, I can go ahead and I can select this area here. I can select this area here, right, and go back into home, make a comma format. We don't need any decimal places with that. And then I can take this one here, select that, and go ahead and make that percentage. Give it a few decimal places. There we go. And then maybe bring in the zone underneath shipped, like that, and you can kind of see that. So that would give you some good information as well. All right, so very, very interesting, you know, aspect here. But I wanted to show you, you know, this whole thing with the date, to show you how we troubleshooted that to make it work properly for us. So hopefully this is going to help you in your endeavors as far as working with the pivot tables and wanting to do some sort of a calculated item. And you can kind of see the pitfalls, but you can see the major advantages of using something like this. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Take care.